In my first few jobs, there was a strong emphasis on engineering culture best practices. If something was tested manually, that was a code smell. If any of our infrastructure was, let's say, artisanally managed, the infrastructure team would get an alert. I was immersed in that culture. I thought that following those best practices was the only way to have a healthy engineering team. I even aimed for 99% test coverage on my personal projects. I still think that they're best practices in a lot of situations, but now I think a lot of it depends on context. In 2019, I left my job at a startup and went to Empower, a progressive political tech nonprofit. The engineer who brought me on didn't focus on those best practices, which made me pretty apprehensive. So he told me that we could spend more time on testing and automation when we needed to, but he also asked me to see how well things would work with less process. We've all heard that premature optimization is the root of all evil, but a lot of us only think about that in terms of code, and we still prematurely optimize our processes and infrastructure. So I decided to trust him, and our approach going forward was to wait until something was a problem before we fixed it. Sometimes the quick and easy way never became a problem. For instance, a lot of folks at places like Google architect their code from day one to scale to billions of users, which can add a lot of complexity. At Empower, our model is called relational organizing. We're trying to push back against the trend of impersonal political spam and instead get people to have real conversations with their friends and family about issues that are important to them. That context means that Empower isn't ever going to have billions of users. We're already big and we're growing over time, but we scale by getting people to have in-depth conversations. So we just use a MySQL database, and that will probably always work for us. In other places, like testing and reliability, we've partly adopted a best practice. We put a lot of effort into testing some parts of the system, like anything security critical. We have monitoring for downtime, latency, big changes in metrics like new users. And we have end-to-end tests that make sure that all of the main user flows work. But we haven't invested much time in unit testing. The monitoring and testing that we do have takes very little time to maintain, and it all runs very quickly, and it's got a bunch of issues. So it doesn't feel like we have any more bugs than when I was on teams with 99% test coverage. Partly, that's because we're a small nonprofit, and all of our engineers are pretty senior. Also, we make sure that we keep things simple, don't have too many pages in our app, and all of that means that it's a lot easier for an engineer at Empower to keep all of the code in their head. So there aren't as many bugs due to complex interaction between different parts of the codebase. And when there is a bug, it's easy to track it down and fix it. Big companies still probably need to invest in unit testing, but I suspect that a lot of startups could probably get away with only a medium investment in testing. There are other places where we've gone above and beyond the best practices. For instance, there's a lot of seasonality in political tech. I'm still at Empower, we're doing good work to help get people vaccinated and to combat misinformation, but a lot of people join up because they're interested in an election and then they leave afterwards. That means we put a lot of emphasis on code reviews, knowledge sharing, making sure our code is simple, modular, easy to understand. And code reviews and modularity are best practices everywhere, but there's a difference between just giving them lip service and making them a big part of the culture. Managers giving feedback to their employees about code reviews, discussions on the team about naming our functions, the product manager narrowing the scope of a feature in order to make it simpler and easier to maintain. There's a lot that you can do if you make it a priority. So I'm not saying that you should throw best practices out the window, but I have been on teams that spent a lot of time trying to do the supposed right thing, even though it ended up being a premature optimization. The important thing with any part of engineering culture is understanding what problems you have at your specific organization and how to fix them. Sometimes that means following best practices, and other times it means accepting tech debt because it helps you get a few more people to register to vote. Thanks, everybody. And if you want to talk engineering culture or hear more about political tech, hit me up. My email is samking@getempower.com.